Francis Michael Sullivan passed away in 1954. Why have we waited 70 years to do this? Because we didn't know about Francis Michael Sullivan and with the contributions that Francis Michael Sullivan made, those very important contributions that he made to the veterans. A few remarks. We're here today to talk about Francis Michael Sullivan. He grew up here in Forge Village. When he left home, he left his family and went on to a career as a journalist, an aide to 2 congressmen, became legislative director of the American Legion, and from there he produced some of his greatest work. He ended his career in 1954 with his passing as National Director of the Disabled Veterans. His contributions during his tenure are why we are here today. In honor of Francis Michael Sullivan, 1897 to 1954, he was the director of the Disabled American Veterans, the GI Bill of Rights. Francis M. Sullivan, born on Pond Street, Forge Village, Westford, Mass., 18 December of 1897. He died in Washington, D.C., the 24th of January, 1954. He was the son of John and Nora Sullivan, Irish immigrants who came here in 1895 for the promise that this country has given so many over the years. He was a champion of the American veterans over the span of 3 wars. His efforts resulted in many pieces of legislation to support veterans, his most significant accomplishment resulting in the GI Bill of Rights. And it is given today by the Westford Historical Society. I have been invited to speak at noontime on the Common during the Memorial Day exercises. I'll go into a much more detailed description of how all of this came about at that time. But I wanted to give thanks to a few people. First and foremost, these people here today, the veterans. Thank you for your service. Secondly, the different boards in town who supported this. The Select Board, Conservation Commission. I see Margaret over there and Noel there as well. Yeah, for the conservation. This is conservation land, by the way. The Monuments Committee for their support, ongoing support. The Westford Historical Society, my friend Jim Van Beaver, who wrote a very detailed description of the life of Mr. Francis Sullivan. Contributions from the Sullivan family. We have members of the Sullivan family here today who I'm going to have introduce themselves because we couldn't remember all their names. And I was going to say, is Marisha Taylor Kazeniac? Marisha Kazeniac Taylor. Yeah, all of the flags and the bunting and everything else between she and Alice Lammy at the beginning of the street. Please placed all these up. And Marisha's very generous contribution also is the reason this is here today. And State Representative Jim Arciero. He's here. Jim, okay? Before you introduce, would you introduce yourselves? This is all members of Francis Sullivan's family.
I'm Maggie Sullivan. I'm a great-granddaughter. I'm Carrie Sullivan, the wife of Brian Sullivan.
Brian Sullivan, grandson.
Kathleen Ashman, granddaughter.
Frank Ashman, Kathleen's husband.
Laura Sullivan Friel, granddaughter.
Laura, would you come here? Jim Arciero, representative, has a special presentation he wants to make to the Sullivan family.
Thank you to the Sullivan family. It's quite an honor to be here with you today. I'm from a military family myself, so when Jeff was talking a little bit about the great contributions that your family has made to helping veterans and supporting veterans' causes, I look no further than my own brother, who served 5 tours of duty, but was able to go to medical school and graduate school and college to help himself become a doctor to help soldiers in those 5 tours of duty. It's quite an honor to be with you today and to know that this was forged here in Forge Village, which is something that for myself and so many that are here today certainly are very proud of. So on behalf of the Massachusetts House of Representatives, this is a citation from the House of Representatives. Be it known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers sincere congratulations to the family and friends of the late Francis Michael Sullivan, and recognition of being a champion of American veterans over their span of 3 wars, including his many efforts supporting legislation critical to veterans and their families, including the historic federal GI Bill. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and hopes for future good fortune given this 26th day of May 2024, signed by the Speaker of the House, Ronald Mariano, and State Representative Jim Arciero. Congratulations.
As I said, at noontime, I will give a much longer description of the contributions of Francis Michael Sullivan at that time. But for now, Commander Ullo, thank you very much.